There's a story I've heard somewhere or other, and I've forgotten even what the point of the story was. But the idea was that if you immerse a frog in boiling water, you increase the temperature of the water very, very gradually, and the frog won't even know that he's being boiled alive and is in fact being killed. And ALS is a bit like that. There's no sudden crash like a heart attack or cancer or something like that. It's just a gradual decline. So day by day you think, hey, this isn't so bad. I'm not that much worse than yesterday. And then 6 months later you realize you're a whole lot worse than you were 6 months ago.
I have no concerns whatever about any regrets or any thoughts or afterthoughts that I'm going to have after I die. I just simply am not going to exist. My consciousness will be gone forever, just as it's gone temporarily every night. It'll be the same thing, except it ain't going to come back. So that means that I don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. I can take control to whatever extent I think is appropriate of my own life and its departure without feeling concerns of consciousness or burning in hell or whatever. My name is David and I have ALS.
It's starting to get hot. It's starting to get noticeably hot for me right now. You know, you can live without bicycling, you can live without hiking, you can live without playing basketball, you can live without a whole pile of things, but when getting from your bed to the bathroom becomes a challenge, that's when it starts to get a little bit hot. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about. So right now, eating is a challenge, moving around the house is a challenge, breathing is a challenge. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Food doesn't taste good. I don't know why. Apparently this is known in ALS.
There you are.
I haven't enjoyed food now for almost a year, and I just chaw it down, basically. And so as long as I can do that, I don't want to get a stomach tube because it's undignified.
I didn't think it was anything wrong, but I first noticed that things were changing about 2 years ago, I would say. It was initially a weakness in the back, and I wasn't used to that. And I noticed it shoveling snow. I've always done a lot of biking, rollerblading, stuff like that, and you know how long it takes you to do these routes. And my timing started to get longer, and I couldn't figure out why. I've always taken pretty good care of myself. So it was a big surprise, and I guess my immediate reaction was to investigate the disease, read up on it as much as possible. How do you get out of this? And what do you have to do to prepare for being dead?
And then I immediately started thinking about, where is this going to take me? The last thing that I ever wanted to do was to be a prisoner in my own body, as it were. That's a phrase that has some resonance with me. Being a prisoner in your own body in the sense that your mind is free to wander, but your body just can't take you anywhere, and you're just lying there. Yeah, we've been real buddies all our married life. We do stuff together. We always have. We share the love of outdoors.
Joy and I used to like to hike. We did a lot of pretty extensive hiking over our time. I used to run a lot, again, less so as you get older. I biked an awful lot. Used to really enjoy the bike up to the Champlain Lookout in the Gatineau Park. I believe in family very strongly. We have a very close family, and they're all around all the time, and we support each other in every way we can. The hardest thing is losing my family. No matter how you cloak it in respect for dignity of life or, phraseology like that, high-sounding phrases. But frankly, my life is not going to be all that dignified, in my view, if it's allowed to continue indefinitely. It's not going to be dignified at all. It's going to be quite ugly.
I'm working on a house manual so that anybody can pick the manual up and they would know what has to be done in the house and how to do it over a typical year.
This is really a two-man job. One guy holds the lid and one guy does the filters, and that's the way we used to do it, but now I have to do it by myself.
Persistence. It's an anagram. 7 down.
Across also begins with an S. There's our S out of CO. There's the CO.
So the idea of being totally paralyzed, lying somewhere, unable to speak, unable to breathe without a machine, unable to eat, having to be fed through a tube, unable to turn or to roll over or to manipulate your own equipment or anything. In other words, being looked after all day by somebody for your most basic physical needs, that doesn't appeal to me at all.
That you can't do anything about or even tell anybody about, you're going to be totally aware of it. That seems to me is not a situation that people should be required to tolerate. It's not a kind society that requires people to do that, I think. There are many people who would never, never, never exercise the option for an assisted suicide. I have no problem with that at all. I respect that. It's possible that I would be one of those people. I don't know right now. But I'd love to have that option.
So naturally I went, did research about all the assisted suicide resources that exist in Canada and found this organization called Dignitas in Switzerland, which does offer an assisted suicide service to foreigners. It's a service that I could theoretically use if I ever reached that point.
I ask myself, what is the best thing that I can do for David? And that is to live our lives together as long as we have, as best we can. So I try and do that. Some days I succeed better than others, but I try and do that. When you love someone very much, you don't like to see them suffer. So at some point, I have to accept that David's going to make a decision and say, that's it, I'm just really not enjoying very much about life anymore. And because I love him so much, I have to accept that. And intellectually, I do. I know emotionally it is and will be hard, but I will do my very best.
Nothing happens arbitrarily. We don't see any miracles. We don't see anything happening that is not predictable or understandable by the laws of the universe. So I'm not concerned about things like, am I being punished? Have I been singled out by this disease? Why me, Lord? That kind of stuff. It's irrelevant in a universe that is ticking on as it should beyond any ability of our species to control, then one doesn't become so concerned about why or why not or all that kind of stuff. So that, you can set that aside. I think it's a wonderful universe we live in, and I feel privileged to be able to enjoy it.